Rebecca Rogers. Welcome back to my channel. If you're an OG, you remember the space poops. Yes, I know that's a weird thing to call them. I don't know. Avery came up with it. But not only have you guys been asking for another We Can't Make This Stuff Up video, it's Women's History Month. Go ladies, go ladies, go ladies. So I figured, why not use this opportunity and really look at some crazy things that happen to women just because they're women. So I asked my Facebook and Instagram followers, hey ladies, what are some wild situations you found yourself in that really only happen because you're a female? And here are 15 of their answers. Slight side note, I do want to kind of put out there, some stories I got were hilarious. Some stories I got were horrifying. Simply for the fact that platforms could take the video down if I really put the horrifying examples up on there. And I want people to see what women have to deal with. I didn't include all of those, not because I don't think they're important, but because I think it's just gonna get taken down. That doesn't mean I didn't include any of the horrifying things, so just putting that out there, some of these, makes me sick to my stomach. Now on with the show. I needed a new car, so my husband and I went to price new vehicles a few months ago. The car salesman just schmoozed up to my husband, shook his hand, made eye contact, the whole 9 yards. Took us into his little sales cubicle and patted me on the shoulder like I was a golden retriever. He asked my husband what he was looking for, and my husband just told him it would be my car and that they needed to talk to me. The salesman then, after 20 minutes, finally made eye contact with me, and he could already see he wasn't going to be selling me anything. His face fell when he actively realized how grossly misogynistic and sexist he handled this meeting. I told my husband I'd changed my mind and we'd be looking elsewhere. Got it from that chair, patted the salesman on the shoulder, and walked out the door. As you should. I would have done the same thing. Oh, I would have been so mad. We actually are gonna be getting a new car soon. I wonder if I should film that experience just to see if I am treated like a human being. Because I've heard so many crazy stories about women at car dealerships. I'm gonna be mad if something like that happens to me. I finally moved into a new management position and found out new hires under me were paid more than me after 7 years with more experience. So I asked to have a meeting with my direct supervisor. Hey Bill, I actually realized that some of the new guys are starting out with higher salaries than mine, and I've been here for like 7 years, so I just kind of wanted to talk about maybe a potential raise. Sarah, you have a husband who takes care of you, and you don't have any kids, so why would I pay you more money? You don't need it. I'm sorry, are you serious right now? I'm being completely serious. You don't have any extra dependents, and again, your husband can easily be the breadwinner for your house, so why should I be paying you more money? I'm sorry, you're joking, right? All the new guys, they have wives and kids to take care of. Yeah, they need it, but you just don't. You know, I think it's a really good idea for you to sleep on this and figure out if that's really how you feel or not, and we can revisit tomorrow. If you say so, but I'm not budging. The next day, he stood by his original statement, and I told him I was sorry he felt that way and handed in my notice. He was genuinely surprised I quit, but what did he expect? For all those people that are like, there's no wage gap. This is an example of someone just blatantly paying a woman less money for no other reason than the fact that she's got a husband. You don't have kids, you don't need nice things in your life, because apparently that's all women are good for. My first job out of college was pretty great. I worked hard, I got along with my colleagues, most of whom were men. I was green and just learned a lot from everyone around me. On my last day there, we went out for farewell drinks at a nearby bar, and most people could only stay for one drink, and even though I switched to water after 2 beers, I still felt like I should stick around till everyone went home since they were there in my honor. The crowd dwindled to myself, another male, and my boss. My boss boss began making advances toward me. He placed his hand on my hand and I moved it. He placed his hand on my thigh and I switched seats because apparently he didn't get the hint the first time. When my colleague went to the restroom, he leaned in and told me he wanted to hike up my skirt and feel me. I told him he had way too much to drink and he needed to leave me alone. That was when my coworker returned and my boss left for the restroom too. I told my colleague what happened and he said we'd better get him a cab. He apologized profusely for our boss's behavior and I just left as quickly as I could. The next day, I got a call from the coworker. Not the boss, the coworker. He told me that I should be more careful because some people might get the wrong idea about me, and he warned me that if I told anyone what happened, I could kiss any chance at a career in this town goodbye.
Because nobody liked a snitch or a woman who acted like that.
He assured me he was only calling as a friend and just cared about me. But why don't more women speak up when they're harassed? That's why. A few weeks ago, my husband's uncle came over for dinner, and while we were eating, he asked about my new job. Hey, aren't you in the engineering field? Yeah, I am. And you're, handling it okay? Yes. And my nephew doesn't care that you're an engineer. Why would he? I just don't think women should be in these big demanding fields. I mean, you're not logical. Women are so emotional, and when you're doing something important and you mess up, it can be really detrimental to not just your career, but your husband's. I mean, think about how humiliating it would be for your husband if you messed up something big and important for this giant company. Are you being serious right now? Absolutely. Women just aren't built to handle the stress in a workplace like that. And it's nothing bad against women, you know? They're just meant for different things. Like, men could never be natural caregivers for their children. They can't be the primary parent. They don't have that nurturing sense about them, you know? Like, we're just all meant for different things. Not that it's any of your business, but I'm doing fine at my new job. Well, just wait for that time of the month and we'll see. Were you unaware that during that time of the month, the hormone that floods a woman's body and makes them so emotional is testosterone? What? No, you can Google it on your way out of my house. Thanks. I would have told him the same thing. Bye. See ya. No, you don't have those people over. Part of my athletic training major was an internship program where we shadowed other athletic trainers employed by the university. On my first day, it was just me and another classmate who was a guy. We're both listening to this older male athletic trainer tell us how it is and ranting about how crappy the profession was, how we should think long and hard about if this is genuinely what we wanted to do, and how if he could do it all over, he'd get a different job. Whatever, I thought. I figured he's just burnt out and pissed off that at our school he's stuck with the track team when he clearly wants to be with football and basketball. However, then he turns to me and singles me out as a female, saying how we females are never as reliable as professionals because we have instincts to stay home and be with babies. And if the baby's sick, what will you do? You'll stay home and skip work, and that's why you're not reliable. Blah, 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 blah. Continuous statements about how women are inferior because our priorities are programmed to be babies and family first, not career. I was floored. I had no idea how to react to just blatant sexism and hurtful comments directly to my face the first time someone met me. In what world should any human not put their family first? What? Are you saying that a single dad, if his children were sick, wouldn't stay home? Of course he would, because that's a good father. Oh, I'm sorry. If a guy does it, he's a great father. But if a woman does it, she's just an unreliable professional. My bad. Aren't we getting out of this whole mentality, though, of work before your family? Like, that's not healthy. We don't do that here. I work in a mostly male industry, and in the office, there's only 2 women. We share a space and we split a lot of duties. We're also the only ones, as far as I know, who keep any of the shared spaces tidy. Since they're shared spaces and I use them, like the kitchen for example, I don't mind wiping off the counter or organizing the bathroom every once in a while. Why not? One time though, one of my coworkers burst into my office absolutely furious. Hey, what's up? I had someone from from another firm come to my office today, and it was humiliating. No one cleaned it. There was food everywhere, paper was unorganized. It didn't look like anyone's dusted it in weeks. Did you know he was coming? Of course I did. I scheduled the meeting. Then why didn't you clean beforehand? Why would I do your job for you? Me? Cleaning your office isn't my job. Well, you clean your office all the time. Yes, because it's my office and I want it to look presentable. And the shared spaces? I don't mind helping with the shared space that I also use, but I'm not cleaning your office for you. Well then who is? You. We don't have cleaning staff. Like, how have you gone this long not realizing that you have to clean your own space? I mean, I guess I just assumed it was your job. Oh, so you thought that it was my job to clean your area because I'm a woman? When you put it that way, it just makes me look like a giant jerk. Because you are, Jim. It's because you are. In the span of 1 week, my differential equations professor asked me if I was getting my Mrs. degree. I was getting my master's in computer science. My dad told me I'd probably drop out of engineering and go into sales because I'm too pretty to be a software engineer. And my old boss told me that women are just bad at programming because they can't think logically. Except for me, of course. He clarified once he saw how horrified I looked. That today you just need to pour yourself a glass of wine. I don't drink wine, but maybe you do, so I'm gonna get me some decaf chai or something like that. Have to go decaf now. My blood pressure and heart rate have been way too high lately. I'm stressed all the time. I get this kind of thing way too often. Oh, hey, John. Jen, is that you? Well, if you're out at the bar, who's watching the baby? The baby has a father. He's just with his dad. Oh, that's so great that your husband's willing to babysit like that. It's not babysitting, it's just called parenting. Just like it's parenting when I watch our child, it's parenting when the dad watches the child because we're both parents. I don't have kids, but that kind of thing, I think that's gross. It is unfair, wild. A guy I dated in high school was super sexist. I was driving him somewhere once because he didn't have a license and he was making remarks about women being terrible drivers. I stopped, pulled over and said, "Oh really? Tell me, Kevin, which of us in this car actually passed the driver's test?" That shut him up for the time being, but he always said stuff like that. It's like they don't even hear it. They don't even hear how dumb it is coming out of their mouth. I didn't pass my driver's test, but you know who sucks at driving? Women. You know, I know in my relationship, my girlfriend's the only one of us that is allowed to drive, but it's women. They're the worst. When I first met my dad in my early 20s, he frustrated me so much. I had a boyfriend at the time who didn't drive, never driven a car, didn't know a dang thing about them. And my father knew this. He would still say things like, "Hey, have you checked your oil lately?" "Yeah, I checked it, it's fine." "Yeah, okay, maybe you just have your boyfriend check it too." "Why? I checked it a few days ago. I know how to check oil, it's fine." Yeah, I know, just have him check it anyways." The guy never drove. I ended up teaching him how to drive towards the end of our relationship. I taught him everything that he knew about cars. Before then, he'd never been behind a wheel, never checked oil or tire pressure or pumped gas or anything like that. But no, according to my dad, I still had to have him check because he's the man. I would be lying if I said that my dad didn't do very similar things. I love him, and he doesn't even realize he's doing it. He doesn't. And Avery drives, you know, but we know just as much about cars. Like, neither of us are car people. It is what it is. Dumb is what it is. When it comes to dinner with my family, my dad gets so mad at me for sitting on the couch and not helping cook or clean or set the table. But when both my brothers are also relaxing and also just sitting on the couch, nothing is said to either of them. They're not expected to cook, they're not expected to clean, set the table, nothing. Just me, because I'm a girl. That used to be my house too. Oh my gosh. Not anymore, because I kind of made a stink about it a few years ago. Not in like the house that I like my parents' house. In our house, Avery does most of that stuff. Reversing stereotypes. He's a good one. It is nearly impossible to find a doctor to sterilize me, and I've been refused multiple times, but my husband got a vasectomy with no pushback. This is how all of my appointments seem to go. Miss Smith, I see you're requesting to be sterilized? Yes, that's correct. Are you sure that you want to go this route? Yep, that's why I made the appointment. But you're just so young. And I do not want children. But, I mean, are you married? Yes, I am. And your husband, he's also okay with this? Not that he has supreme control over my body, but yeah, neither of us want children. I would just feel a whole lot better if your husband were to come to the appointment and confirm that he's okay with his wife getting sterilized. I'm a 30-year-old woman, okay? This is my body. I know, calm down. I know, I just don't think you understand the ramifications of what you're asking. This is my body. Who are you to decide if I want children or not? How dare they? Who do they think they are? That is not your business. I don't understand. It just upsets me. It just makes me mad. I'm a property manager, and in my line of work, we have to deal with a lot of disgruntled homeowners. Our staff is split about 50-50 between men and women, and everyone's pretty great at their job. It's not uncommon for someone to contact us completely irate over something trivial and simply just not accept the explanation for the problem and solution from a woman on our team. When the women are all out of ideas on how to appease the homeowner, a woman on my team usually just transfers the call to me, a guy, and I give the exact same explanation my colleague did, just they actually accept it. It's so dumb. I feel so bad. I don't know how to help the women in my office. I wish I could. I guess taking the angry clients from them is the best I can do for them right now. You know what, my guy? You acknowledge it though. Like, you see it's a problem. We have the same thing when I was a teacher. Same thing. Parents never really go after the guy teachers the way that they do for female teachers. There are so many situations that if I was a male teacher, I never would have had a parent speak to me that way. And they, like, it's acknowledged. Like, people know that. They understand that. It's wild. At my job, we had a visiting executive from the head office come in, and he didn't really like my shoes. Do you always wear those? Yeah, I do. Why? They're super comfortable. But they don't look feminine. Well, the goal is to be professional and comfortable, not necessarily feminine. But you're a woman, and this is a male-dominated field, so if you want the men to pay attention to you, take you seriously, you might want to try looking a little girlier. I mean, I think all women in the professional setting should be in heels. Actually, can we do that? Can we implement a rule, a heel requirement for all women in the workplace? No, sir, HR will not allow that. Oh, HR is always ruining my good ideas. All right, well, you know what? Next time I come in, I either want to see you in heels or I don't want to see you at all. I would like to see him wear them for a day, just to see how great they are. Since he thinks they're so great, you wear them. I can't even wear like regular high heels, okay? I don't have all the ligaments in my ankles. It hurts. I can barely walk. I wish I could wear them because, you know, I'm 5 exact and my husband is 6'3". It's not in the cards for me. When I was in high school, there was a strip club in the area, and to get to my friend's house the fastest, we just walked past it on the way home from school. Since we went to a Catholic school, we had our uniforms on and we were obviously underaged. As we walked past the strip club though, 2 30-year-old plus guys loitering out front were leering at us. Probably something to do with our uniforms. Disgusting, but not unusual. I scowled at them and gave them the finger. When we just walked by, one of the guys screamed,
"We were just kidding, you know. You're both fat and ugly."
The other guy screamed,
"You guys should consider anorexia."
"Hope you guys get on your way home today." Yep, welcome to America as a young girl. Like, what are you supposed to even comment about these? Absolutely wild. But that was 15 examples of wild things that just happen to women for no other other reason than the fact that they are women. As I said before, I did not put all of the atrociously disgusting, more so than those examples in, because I would rather everyone get a small taste of these examples than to just have the entire video taken down and no one have access to them at all. How sad is that? But if you are someone who can relate to any of these stories, I hope you feel seen, know you're not alone. And if you don't relate to any of these stories, no matter what gender you belong to, hopefully you can empathize and realize these things are not okay. Now here's where I usually tell you guys that if there's another occupation or anything like that you want to include on the series, that you should let me know in the comments. I'm not gonna do that this time. I've been dropping little hints here and there about some changes coming, and I'm not getting rid of the series, it's more so morphing. I've been letting you guys know that a podcast was in the works. Official announcements will come soon, but I don't know how many more episodes of this exactly like it is right now we're gonna have before the podcast is able to launch. So keep your eyes out. I've been dropping little hints as I get them. I don't have all the information yet. It's not that I'm trying to keep anything from you guys, I just don't have all the exact details yet, but I'm trying to kind of feed them to you guys as we go. So on that, more to come. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you guys next week. And as it's Women's History Month, I hope all of you who identify as such feel loved and supported and get the kind of hug that you deserve. Hugs are so good for your soul. I love you guys. Thank you. Bye, my lovelies.